forced to get to do it, when you start seeing it in the workplace and all that sort of thing, it's like it's as if it's sort of the unholy satanic version of a secular workplace that requires everyone to do the sign of the cross. It's like this symbolic religious ritual, which is what the pronoun exchange has become. But what you're actually doing, even if it's just symbolic, is that you are participating in a falsehood, and you just can't do that. You got to draw the line somewhere, and I think that's got to be the line.
Where did the pronoun thing come from? Like, was there an academic paper? Was there a philosopher that all of a sudden said, hey, no one ever asked, no one ever cared, but now we have to put pronouns in email signatures? I mean this completely curious. I have no idea where this came from. It just appeared out of nowhere, like, oh, I like manna from heaven, like, here's the pronoun.
It feels like it appeared out of nowhere, but I think it's an outcropping of gender ideology, which came into its, you could trace it back kind of as far as you want to.
Yeah, of course. You've done a fabulous job of that in your film.
Yeah, and Carl Trueman wrote a book called The Rise and Triumph of the Modern Self, which, if anyone hasn't read that book, have you read that book?
I've not.
You got to read that book. It's an incredible book. And he takes this idea. He sort of says, like, we live in a society now where a man can say, I'm a woman trapped in a man's body, and that makes sense to me. People think it makes sense. And how did we get to a point where that statement seems to make sense to people intuitively? And he tries to call it back, to its philosophical origins 200 years ago, for sure. But I think if you could choose the middle of the 20th century as the time when gender ideology in its current form took shape, and then the pronoun stuff, that was part of this move, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago, when all these things that already existed in academic circles exploded onto the mainstream, and I think it was all kind of part of that.
It's so obviously a manifestation of the societal sickness. I'm just curious was there a concerted effort, or was it just one of those things where they just started to do it at Oberlin, and it just kind of caught on, and they're like, oh yeah, that's a cool idea, let's do that. It's a kind of an attachment onto how tyrannical and radical we've been.
I think it's that. I think in that sense it is sort of
nice.
Caught on in a way organically, I suppose. Although I hesitate to say that, because if we say that, it makes it sound like
there's popularity behind it or something.
Well, it also makes it sound like we're buying into the left's claim that the pronoun stuff it's an evolution of language, and language evolves.
Sure, no, of course.
But this is not the evolution of language. I mean, language can evolve and words can change and that sort of thing. But what we're seeing now is a kind of top-down, prescriptive change where the elites are imposing it